Howdy, howdy, folks. A-Train here with you for another episode of City Skylines and our Evansville city build. This is episode 2 of the series, and we want to welcome you back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. And as you can see from our title, we are talking about trains and the city. And I mentioned this a little bit in the first episode, so let's jump right into it. All right, cool. So here's what we're looking at. The town, or, well, city, worthy village, as we are at this point, of Evansville. Now, this is kind of loosely based on Evansville, Indiana. Now, here's the part that's going to be fictional, all right? Because, like, there's the river down here. This represents the Ohio River. This is south towards the river. This is north going away towards the highway, all right? So that makes this east and this west, all right? So here's what we got from the last episode. We set up a coal power plant, industrial area over here, a water treatment facility, a pumping facility. We tied all that together with water and power. And then we started building our residential area and commercial zone here. This is Main Street, all right, that runs east-west. This is Broadway. That's going to be where the highway comes into town. And so we're going to look at this with in a little bit of a time machine perspective. Okay, and I talked about this in the first episode, how a lot of towns, I didn't go into much detail about it, but let me give you a little bit of a history. If you're back in the Northeast, y'all got trains first. Y'all got railroads first. In Virginia, New York, Eastern Seaboard cities in the early 19th century, okay? When the first steam-powered wagons, indeed, before that, they like the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad was the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal Company or something like that. And the C&O was known as George Washington's Railroad, things like that. They started with canals, and then they went to horse-drawn carriages on rails. Standard rail gauge in the United States and a lot of places in the world is 4 feet, 8.5 inches. Why is that? Because that's the width of the track of a Roman war wagon drawn by 2 horses. Okay? So you may see this joke going around the internet back in the day when the space shuttle was flying and we had the solid rocket boosters and the size of them and yada, yada, yada. And that the size of the space shuttle's solid rocket boosters was determined by the width of 2 horses' butts. Well, that was so those booster segments could fit on the railroad to get out of the Thiokol facility in Utah and get across the country to Cape Canaveral, Florida, where they were assembled and the shuttles were launched. Okay? Now, I tell you that to tell you this. You established towns typically near a source of water. So logically speaking, our town wouldn't start here, and indeed looking at the maps, old maps of Evansville, it started right on the river. So you had your 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, and then they did avenues north-south, going away perpendicular to the river. Okay? We did it a little bit different. So typically your towns were founded around a water source. Okay, so you had to have water. And then later, towns were founded based on the railroads. Why were they founded based on the railroads? A-Train, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. Because the trains needed 2 things. Fuel, which initially was wood, as they burned wood to turn water into steam to drive the steam engine. And later, they needed coal, which they burned to create heat to turn water into steam to drive the steam engine. Now, they could only carry so much fuel on the locomotive at the time. So we're going to kind of operate in the mid 1850s. All right. This is when the railroads were starting to happen. The capacity of a locomotive's water tender and fuel tender, the fuel actually would last longer than the water. Okay. Because you had the boiler and you could only have so much water in there until you boiled off enough of it in the form of steam. And you've seen pictures or videos of steam engines releasing white steam. Okay. At some point, you've got to stop and take on more water. Well, the early steam engines, that was every 10 to 20 miles. So up in the Northeast, your towns started to form every 10 to 20 miles apart, because that's where they put the next water stop for the train. And then they went another 10 to 20 miles and put another water stop for the train. And maybe there were some farms around there. And those farmers then could bring their crops, load them on the train, and send them to a big city to sell them. Or they could load their cattle on the train, or their sheep or their pigs, or their furniture or logs from their tree farm or whatever. Okay? Now, as trains advanced in the second half of the 1800s, you got up to the 440 American, and you started getting a little bit bigger. They could go a little further. So here in Texas and across the Midwest, a lot of your towns, because the big thing was to get from the East Coast, as the United States started to expand, get across the Cumberland Mountains and the Appalachians. And once you got across the Appalachians into Ohio and into western Kentucky and Tennessee and what have you, you started getting into flatland, then you were golden. Boy, conquering those mountains was a beast for the railroads, though. You had to either zigzag your way up and over them, or you had to build tunnels, which were expensive as hell and took years to do. A lot of great history here. But I want to just simplify this for the sake of why we're going to design the town kind of the way we are. So in the Midwest and in the South, in Texas, in the 1860s, 1870s, post-Civil War era, the trains could go about 30 miles before they needed to take on more water. And so you'd establish a water stop. And then you might establish an office to man that water stop. And then you might set up a freight depot, and people might bring their cotton or their cattle or their crops or wares or whatever to put on the railroad to ship somewhere else to market. Am I making sense here? So, towns would crop up every 20, 30 miles along the path of the railroad as the railroad expanded. Now, there were hundreds at one point, hundreds of railroads in the United States. Now you have 5 Class 1 railroads. In the east, you have CSX and Norfolk Southern. You have Kansas City Southern in the central part of the country, which is more of a north-south road versus NS and CSX, which are more east-west. Everybody goes to Chicago. Everybody goes to St. Louis. Okay, those were the key central cities. Kansas City as well. But most of the eastern roads went to St. Louis. Okay, so you still had the width of Missouri separating those two towns. You want big rail action. Kansas City to St. Louis, that was big rail action. Then you go up to Chicago. Okay, but now you have Kansas City Southern, which runs north-south, and they've actually just been purchased by Canadian Pacific. So that's Canadian Pacific and Canadian National are the 2 Class 1 railroads in Canada. And that's the biggest of the big railroads. You have a lot of regional Class 2s, then you have smaller Class 3s, and you have little individual railroads. Okay? There's still lots of railroads, but at one point, there was like 200-something Class 1 railroads. So, a big deal was when, and then in the West, let me finish the rest of that story. You have Burlington Northern Santa Fe and the Union Pacific. Now, if you look up any one of these railroads, you will see their family tree goes back generations and 100+ years in most cases. Norfolk Southern has 20-something predecessor railroads that came together to form it over time. And we're going to have 2 of those involved in the story here. Now, by my research, I just looked up, Evansville is actually served by CSX. And I remember that when I was there working while I was in the mortgage industry 20 years ago. But I don't like CSX because I loved Chessie System, which was one of their predecessor roads, and they got rid of Chessie. So I don't like CSX. But I do like Norfolk Southern. Now, Norfolk Southern in the Midwest had the Norfolk and Western, and it became the parent company of the Nickel Plate Road, which ran across Ohio and Indiana, and then into St. Louis. All right. And then also the Wabash, named for the Wabash River, which I believe forms the border between Indiana and Illinois. Okay. So I say that to tell you this. We're going to alter the history of the actual Evansville for our purposes and say that Evansville was founded because the Wabash and the Nickel Plate Railroads, which at the time were competitors, wanted to do a junction. And that junction took place in Evansville. So I've sketched it out here with the gravel roads. This is going to be the Nickel Plate running north-south and the Wabash running east-west, which may actually be backwards to what I was thinking, but it doesn't matter. Point is, they're here. So what I did was I renamed Railroad Street Nickel Plate Street because it parallels the Nickel Plate. And what we did was established a new railroad street over here that runs all the way through and into our industrial area. This was industry. And we'll change that. We may make this industrial now. This is Iron Horse Way. We may change that to industrial. We may change this. Well, why is that Washington Road? Oh. Well, let's make that industrial. Industrial Road. Cool. All right. Let's make sure. Yeah. Okay. We hit this. You got to hit the enter key, or it won't take the name change for you. Okay. So, in theory, one train came through town this way, one train came through town this way, and they had a junction right here, and they probably then set up what they call an interchange. An interchange would be a track connecting this and this in an arc like this. So it's a curved triangle. Okay? So then there would be like a siding track here and maybe a siding track here. And a train could come along here and drop off some cars and maybe pick up some cars and then continue on its way. And then a train here may run over there and pick up those cars and bring them over here and put them on its train and take some cars off its train from the Wabash and push them over here for the Nickel Plate to pick up. You see what I'm saying? All right. Now, historically speaking, and I was actually talking about this with a customer today, this actually happened in Dallas, Texas, with the Texas and Pacific and Houston and Texas Central Railroads. Okay. They were supposed to form a junction in the late 1800s at a town called McKinney, Texas, which is about 30 miles northeast of Dallas. But local Dallas business interests and politicians got involved and they convinced them, I'm saying that with air quotes, to move that junction to Dallas, which would be in kind of the west, not the west end, in the Deep Ellum area on the east side of what is Central Expressway or 75. Okay? It became a warehouse district. It became a yard, and they exchanged cars, and Dallas grew into a much bigger city. McKinney stayed pretty small. Okay? So that's how this works historically. Cities are founded on water. You got to have a fresh water source. Well, we have a fresh water source. We'll say maybe there was a spring or something here. Or they were formed along a railroad. And in this case, you could say the railroads put the junction here because they both wanted to have customers in this town and they had industries they wanted to serve. And, maybe they brought crops in from Kentucky up across the Ohio River or something down here. And they were able to sell them here in Evansville. And maybe they brought corn across from, other parts of Indiana or Ohio to sell here. Am I making sense here? So we wanted to have a purpose for our city. Well, this was a railroad town founded on a railroad junction. Or it was a town where the railroads established a junction. All right? So how's that going to affect us? Well, we created space in our industrial area because we do want to make a connection to, again, Back to the Future, today's Norfolk Southern Railway, which was a merger between the Norfolk and Western and the Southern Railways. And the Norfolk and Western owned the Nickel Plate and the Wabash Railways. These became redundant. Okay? And at some point, they established that maybe the Norfolk and Western came through town and established a new right-of-way that wasn't right through the center of town. And a bridge over the Ohio River into Illinois or Kentucky, whichever way we want to go with this. We'll probably say that's Kentucky over here. Okay? Are we tracking? Do we like the story? Does it make sense? Have you learned something about how, maybe a little bit of history of your town? What would you look for, A-Train? What would give this away? Probably not much in today's urban environment unless you had a road or a piece of track like an interchange track that made a curve and a business built up against that track. So if you look in some old industrial areas in your town or in some bigger cities, you may see buildings with curved walls. You may see bricked over doors about 4 feet off the ground. Okay? Typically, trucks weren't quite that tall back in the day to their bed height, but railroad cars were. Okay? Industrial areas, the tracks are usually flat at the ground level. So same level as the street. Okay? And then the buildings are built up with a floor at 4 feet off the ground. So when the rail car would pull up, say a box car with furniture for the warehouse or boxes of canned food to be offloaded at the Del Monte warehouse or whatever, okay? The train would spot the car up to the door, and if there wasn't a loading dock, there may just be a door. They'd open the door like a garage door, okay, and they'd lay out this steel grate. It's very heavy duty that would lay from the concrete floor of the warehouse over to the floor inside the door of the freight car. And then they could use hand trucks, dollies, to move containers and boxes back and forth. And then sometimes they'd have 2 tracks side by side, and they'd put another little steel bridge plate across between those 2 cars. So they would offload the first car, and then they would offload the second car through the first car. Right? So if you see old buildings around, now you kind of have an idea of, hey, wait a minute, maybe that was served by the railroad. Why does that building have that strange angle? I bet if you go back in time, you'll find the trains ran through there and dictated that shape. All right, ready to play the game? Hope you learned something, gang, and appreciate you being here and putting up my blah, 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 blah. Now, typically, tracks, like in case of this modern line over here, it looks flat on the ground. It shouldn't be. Typically, tracks are going to be about 3 feet, almost 4 feet off the ground. They're going to be on a raised roadbed. Why is that? Drainage. That's why there's stone around the ties of the railroad tracks. So it drains properly, and they have to be maintained, and they have to occasionally go back and replace the ties and redo the ballast. That's the stones on it and everything, the gravel, all that, okay? So in this circumstance here, these might have been raised, but probably not. Once they got out of town, they'd probably go up. But you could be cruising down a country road in Texas or somewhere else and look over and notice this little about 4 foot high berm. And there may be trees along the edge of it. And there may be old telegraph poles along the edge of it. That was a railroad. And now you've learned something about trains. All right, let's play the game, shall we? I think we shall. So these goofballs are parked on the street that has no end, but that's our right of way. If I take this off, see, I've got it marked as Wabash right of way. Okay. So I moved Railroad Street over here. All right. And so we kind of have this a little bit backwards from what it would be. First Street would be down here, blah, 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 blah. We may go back and correct that. And then avenues apparently run perpendicular to the river in the real Evansville. Maybe we just do it the other way, because It's our city. So, yeah, take that. All right. We just hit Worthy Village. We just went over 900 people. And I think we got some new facilities we can put in about here, namely fire department. And our fire safety doesn't look too bueno right now. So we need to look at the fire department. That's $12,000. And then we'll be able to put in a police department, which is going to be another $12,000, I think. Yep. So we're going to need to make some money here. And that's okay because we're making like $1,500 a week. Excuse me. So it won't take long for us to get these two in. Fire comes first. Okay. Crime will happen, but fire comes first. So where do we want to put this? Well, there's a couple of options. We could put it where it's closer to the people, the people's homes, or put it closer to industry. All right. So the green lines are indicating where this has good access to. Notice here right in front of us, there's not good coverage on this. Well, this is one-way inbound. It's good from here to here, but it's not good up to that point because the fire trucks have got no way to get there. Okay. So fire station number 1, I'm thinking would be in town and probably, you know, maybe right across from the health care clinic or something. And see now, what's going to be a little bit weird here is this Wabash right-of-way is going to go away. I just used it for reference because also keep in mind back in that time frame, the buildings were smaller footprints. All right. And if these buildings here were served by the railroad, say the track was where I have the Wabash right-of-way marked. Now remember, game-wise, that's 2 tiles wide. There probably would have been a spur track that cut off and ran parallel to it. And maybe it would have been at grade level, which means at ground level. Okay. So it would have crossed straight across the streets, right back up to the back of these buildings. And those buildings would have had loading docks. And they would have loaded onto the train cars there. But then the main line, the train could pass right by. Choo-choo. Right? Because the cars are on the siding or on a spur. Spur has an end, connects to the main track in one spot. A siding connects to the track in 2 spots and allows one train to pass another train. A little railroad terminology there so you know the difference. It's like knowing the difference between a bank shot and a kick shot in pool. All right? You guys play pool? I play pool. A bank shot is when you hit the cue ball into an object ball and the object ball hits a rail and then goes towards a pocket. That's a bank shot. A kick shot is where you shoot the cue ball into the rail first and then it hits the object ball because maybe there's a ball in the way blocking it. Okay? Bank shot, cue ball hits the rail. Kick shot, cue ball hits the rail first to hit your object ball. There's the difference. You just learned something about pool. Keep giving us those likes. Appreciate you being here, gang. All right. So fire department. We got a nice pharmacy too. Look at this marketplace over here. That's a nice looking building. I like that. And we got us like a donut shop here too. Go Nuts Donuts. I like it. Very cool. All right. So fire departmental. And I got, is this that's an MCM fire station. Yeah, that's some kind of big, we're just going to use the base stuff in the game. I know a lot of you guys don't have mods and stuff downloaded, and I get it. Let me think on this for 2 seconds. Do we want to orient this way? I like the orientation this way. No, I have it this way. Because then they can take off and shoot straight down Main Street to the industrial zone, or they can go down any of the other streets, the avenues, to get through the housing district. Boom. Watch the happy faces. Yeah. All right. Let's go. Let's get moving. So we got fire department moving in. And we've got all this room over here to continue building our residential section of town. But we also have room to continue building industrial. Notice our RCI indicator here is showing we don't have much demand for residential. We do have some for commercial. We have more for industry. So let's zone another block or 2 of industry. We're saving this space right here. Oh, wait, we're going to use this. This is your paint tool, and it will fill in a big section, which is fine if that's what you want to do. I don't. Marquee allows you to control this square by square. So we're going to do we're going to do a 4x4 section there and do a 4x4 section here. And then maybe we'll do another 4x4 section here and see what happens. We could, saving this space here for another power plant. Now, let's see how our power is doing. We are balanced, which means we need to up the budget to put out more wattage. So we go into our budget, see how we're getting power flash indicators over here. So power, we're at 75%. Let's go to 85%. Okay, now we're going to check water. Water's starting to get a little tight too, so let's up that in the budget. We're going to take that up to 65%. Okay. And then we've got healthcare is kind of low right now. Fire is very high on the list though. Let's cut that down to 75%. And we're going to cut the police budget to 75 too. Not that we want to be miserly, but when you're playing early game, these things add up very quickly. And you want to make sure that you keep these numbers under control. All right. So now let's check our water. Boom. We're good for now. Power. 29 megawatts. We use 20 to 22. We're still okay. We're still making almost 2,000. Now, that means we can afford a police department. Where do we want to put the police department? I'd say right next to the fire department. What do you think? Now, I'm going to need to extend Main Street just a touch here. And we're going to use the network picker tool. Not the nose picker tool, the network picker tool. Doink, we're going to click on that. And we're going to extend Main Street out to here. And then, see how I changed the name to Price Street, which is dumb. We're going to click on this, extend that out. Boom. Now it's Main Street. Cool. Close that, turn that off. Go down here. Get the police department. Boom. Makes everybody happy. Crime is under control. Now these houses are going to start upgrading because they're getting more facilities. Remember, we have a school right here. And pretty soon we're going to unlock parks. When we hit 1,400 people, we're at 1,200 now. So we're going to try to get through 2 upgrades. Maybe we'll just do 1. Maybe we'll just get to 1,400 for this episode because I did a lot of talking. And I want to keep these under control. I'm going to do a quick little edit in YouTube. And what that's going to do is allow me to save this, and it will go under the videos column on my page instead of live streams. So we'll actually take it from a live video to a recorded video because I made an edit to it. All right, we got more need for industry. We're going to just punch this up like that. Then we got need for more commercial. Well, let's do that. Hopefully it's going to go to that street and not this street. It'll figure it out eventually. And then we have, see, now we have a balanced need for RC and I, okay? Actually, I goofed this up. I probably put this in a bad spot. We'll see how this shakes out. What is our distance between, go here, there. 200. This should be our next street. Which means, what is this going to be? Is this going to be, oh shoot, I don't have it indicated yet. We're going to start working Railroad Street here in a minute. So what we're going to do is start cutting back a little bit on this Wabash right away. And we may say that's just a gravel road these days. Because that's what happens in a lot of cases, is just winds up being a gravel road. All right, so this is going to be 5th Street. this will extend us over to 6th Street. All right, so now this Thompson Drive is now 5th Street. Boom. There we go. Nose to tail. Hancock Road is Railroad Street. Hancock's a fun movie and everything, but no. There. Cool. All right. So there we go. Now we got room to increase. See, we've already got plumbing over here, which it doesn't run under the street. We could run it under the street. I'm going to run it under the street. It's going to cost some money. And then we're going to get rid of the old line here. Okay, and this can be this. Whoops, nope. This. There we go. There. Okay. We want to try to stay consistent. You run your water mains under streets. All right, that way you can get to them to maintain them without going under people's houses. All right, so now we need housing. Let's get some housing in here. Now, see this, we could do this and just do that. And we could do the same thing here. Boom. We could do the same thing here, same thing here. Same thing here, and same thing here. I know I put a little bit of commercial stuff down here. Actually, oops. Let's actually put a little bit more commercial down here. We're going to go back on the marquee thing and just put some commercial down this street here. Okay. And we'll put, say we put a corner store over here, and maybe there's a restaurant over here. Okay. That's on Avenue C. The C is for cookie. That's good enough for me. Shut up, A-Train. All right. So now, who wants to live on the wrong side of the tracks? You know, because we have people living on the wrong side of the tracks. Railroad Street, we're going to say we had some businesses here and some businesses here. And then maybe people lived on the other side of the tracks. Oh, geez, look at this. Boom. Just like that. Jumped up to a tiny town. Hooray! All right. Now we get industry areas. We'll get to fart around with that, but we get parks and plazas. That's a big deal. Okay? That's a big deal. Plus, we can do some policies, which can help, but they also cost money. We get new roads, blah, 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 fun stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. Okay? Tiny town. All right. What's going to be our next milestone? Boomtown, 2,600. You know what? I think we're going to head that way pretty quick. So let's work it, people. Let's work it. Move it. Move it. Work it. Run this up this way. Don't need to go much further than that. Boom. Covers all that street. We don't need any residential right now. These people are showing no power. All right. We'll pause. Let's check our power situation. And you know what? At this point, let's crank this to 100%. You can over-torque your power plant by pushing that up even further, but I really don't want to go there. All right. So that'll fix that for now, but let's see where we're going to be. Ooh, 40 megawatts, and ooh, we're using 31. All right, so that's getting close. Let's check our water situation. Water's okay. We're still making almost $2,000 a week. That's a good amount of money. That will keep you ahead of the curve, okay? Industry needs a little bit more. So let's put in a little bit more industry. We can do that. Let's put some right here, and let's put some right here, and maybe one right here. No, not that much there. That there. And then maybe we'll put one on this corner. Make sure everybody's got water. Everybody's happy. Now, see, residential shot back up again. Okay, so now we're going to do a little residential down this side of the tracks. I'm not saying this is the ghetto, but I'm saying this might have been the ghetto. Okay. Don't say it was ghetto by saying it was ghetto. All right. Also, we could go ahead and fill in some of this space along here. But look, now our demand is dropping. So we're going to do that. And then we're also going to build a little bit of commercial. We'll go ahead and put some of that right here. Put some of that right here. Maybe just one thing right here. Residential's fallen off. We met the demand. Now we need more jobs. So we need more industrial. Vacation was extended. Could someone please water the plants while we're gone? Key is in the flower pot on the porch. Swell. I hope they know who you are. Let's fill that in. Let's fill this in. And now I think we're going to have to look at buying another power plant. Oh, no, we're at 75%. Okay. Now, we may have some more power plant options. Of course, we got wind turbines, which are cleaner, but they're expensive. And you've got to put them in a place that would 7 megawatts. I mean, the max on those is like 8 megawatts. Okay. My little princess was trapped in the tree. What? 3 hours before the fire department showed up. Save the cats, funny cats. Whatever. Keep your cat inside, lady. It's not my fault. All right, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Okay, we have the ability to purchase another square. We're going to buy this one. 3,500. Cha-ching. All right, so now we have all the way to the highway. All right. Awesome. That's a lot of space to grow, gang. A lot. And see, right now, we're looking pretty good, I think. What do you guys think of the city? Too many people, crowded. Can you see me? Oh, you know what? You know something? I hear you. Traffic's at 83%. The only place in town where it's a problem is this intersection. We're about to make that a little easier. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to come in here. We're going to use our network picker thing and grab this. We're going to run this out. About that far. And then we're going to come over to here. We'll run it back here like that. Now, here's the thing. This already intersects. Do we want this to intersect? Or do we want to wait till we get down here to Avenue C to intersect? And maybe Avenue B just bypassed underneath the road. And maybe this flies over it or it flies over. You see what I'm saying? You don't need every street to intersect. Okay? And this actually gets us deeper in town with one less junction. Are you picking up what I'm laying down here, folks? So let's try this. We can always go back and do that. Okay? But let's do this. Avenue C. Extend it over. Okay? Now. Oh, you know what? The problem could be with the fire department budget. Let's bring up the healthcare budget to 70. Actually, let's bring it up to 100%. We actually have quite a bit of money going on here. Okay, so that goes there. Fire department's going to come to 100%. Water's going to come up to 85%. Ooh, I hear the pretty sound, that pretty pinging sound is the sound of stuff upgrading. Yay. Let's do this. Let's come in here and start upgrading some streets because we have lots of money actually going on. And let's grab this and grab. These have the lanes, and they don't have parking. They have wide sidewalks. Okay. So let's do that to here. That's going to move some parking off the street. Okay. Now, beyond that, we have some options. We could do we don't have decorative roads yet. We do have single lane roads though, or 2-lane roads, which allow parking along them. Okay. So that I think we're going to then do across here. And people will get happy because these roads are quieter, they're better maintained. All the way back down to, whoa, what the hell just happened? Did we just exceed maximum power output? Whoops, don't hit that. Where are we? Whoa, yep. All right, that's it. All right, time to build a new power plant. So again, let's review our options. We can't do the funky advanced wind turbines, which are great. They don't produce a ton. They produce up to 20 megawatts. Those go in the water. So we may put some of those in the river eventually. All right. We're just basically going to build another coal power plant. That's just the long and the short of it. And we're going to put it right here. Boom. Now, this just went hinky on us. So we're just going to, nope, not that. Click that. And then just do that. Problem solved. Now we're putting out 80 megawatts. And we're using 44. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program of upgrading roads. And see, the people will be happy because they can park along these roads. And see, we still got $54,000 in the bank. And when your residential is up like it is, this is good. That means you got people wanting to move in. Now you got to keep track on that though, because you don't want your businesses to say, hey, we need workers, man. We're going to shut down, yo. And I'm going to say, all right, cool your jets. I'm getting there. Doing some upgrades right now. The street people are at work. New type of deodorant has been invented. It does exactly the same as the old ones. Wow, imagine that. All right, so there's that. Cool. Let's just go into create here, and we can just run this to here. Okay. Now, let's finish this off. Finish him. Now we got modern streets. We're going to need to update our vacation extended. Yeah, okay. Same thing. Notice this takes up the same amount of space, though, as the gravel road. 2 tiles of width. It's important. All right, pay attention to that. Because we can eventually, as you can see down at the bottom. Uh-oh, we need garbage pickup. Garbage pickup on aisle 12. Wait, let's get these last bits here. And booyah. Sweet. Okay, cool. All right. So let's go into our city budget and see where we're at garbage-wise. Garbage is 85%. Let's run that up to 100. Honey. And then we'll see where we're at. Honey. Let's check water. Water's good. Hello, Lee. Welcome aboard. How are you this evening? Now, we don't have to, but we can upgrade these streets through here. Here's another little fun thing we could do. Because again, we were raking in the cash right now. Oh, we could do parks. Watch this. Parks and plazas, leisure. What is this? Oh, no, we're looking down here. See here, we got the small playground. We got, show me, show me. Small playgrounds would be too big to put there. Small playground is not small. Wait, that is not small. Oh, that's a large playground. That's a small playground. All right, see, that fits. If it fits, it ships. Okay? But I also want to keep an eye out for the plaza with picnic tables, or basketball court. Basketball court's a good thing. Birthday plaza, I'm not too fussed about. And then there's decorative there's parking lots, which we may put parking lots over here because they're going to take up really good space off of off of Railroad Street, or off of Wabash right away, off Railroad Street. Yeah, what I said. All right. So we're gonna actually put in, this is gonna be parking for downtown right here. Everybody like that. Now watch these houses blow up. They think that's a park. All right. But let's watch what we do here. We're going to take the picker. All right. And we're just going to, cannot upgrade this type. Oh, because I'm on upgrade. Go here. I don't know if I can do this. No, can't do it. Okay, it's too small. So what we're going to do is delete. We're in underground mode. No. Doink. And then, see now these are saying, hey, I got no access to a road, dude. What are you doing, man? I'm going to say, yo, man, you got to know the plan, man. I'm the Star-Spangled Man with the plan. And there's the plan. And now we're going to change this to Wabash. ROW still. Because that's the right of way. It's just gravel street. Okay? But just like you would find in a town, right? You can't park on the street, but you can park either on the business property, or they'll put in, hey, we got some empty lots back here. We're going to put some parking back there. Right? That's what towns do. That's how it go. All right? Now, we're rolling right along. Okay? Garbage collection looks like it's still a bit of an issue. Let's take a look at garbage collection. Yeah, we're not getting it done. Yo, what's happening, Alex? What up with you? Garbage is a problem. Let's build another. Boom. Another recycling center. Double our capacity, and hopefully that will resolve the issue. Ooh, not by much. So maybe we need one more recycling center. And maybe we'll just put that over here. Okay, maybe we need an extra one. All right, whatever. I'll just throw money at it, whatever. Just, you know, run me broke. All right, there's that. Now, we anticipate that we would have to put an additional road over here. We're just going to actually run this under this street. That fixes that. Cool. How are we looking for power? Woo! Sweet. 200% of what we need. So now back to the parks thing. People dig this. That parking, look at that. That looks cool. It looks realistic. And that's what I like. I like the idea of it looking realistic. Yeah, somebody's looking for housing. See, we got a big demand for residential right now. All right, let's lay in some residential along 5th Street here. Ashley at... yeah. If you know who Ashley Adams is, you don't need to let anybody know that. Just saying. All right, so there's that. Avenue C, let's extend that to Oriental Street. Yep, because that, I don't think you can say Oriental anymore. All right, and then Avenue A, let's run that across. Alex, you came in late, bud, but that's okay if you're here. Hopefully you're listening. This is Evansville, and we set up Evansville. It was a crossroads between the Nickel Plate and the Wabash on the Ohio River. So we're building the town based on the idea that it started as a railroad town, probably for the Wabash, and then the Nickel Plate came in later, and they made a junction, as opposed to it starting and building right on the river like the actual Evansville, Indiana did. So yeah, that's what you see all these roads here where it says NKP ROW. You'll know what that is, and Wabash ROW. You'll know what that is. So then we got Railroad Street here. And then we got Nickel Plate. Is it Nickel Plate Road? Nickel Plate Street over here. Alex will understand all that stuff because if you look at Alex's moniker there, BNSF and SP, we go back to the beginning of the whole thing when I was telling you about the Burlington Northern Santa Fe and the SP, which is the Southern Pacific, which was one of the predecessors to the Union Pacific, or Union Pacific bought Southern Pacific after The Southern Pacific failed. They were going to have a merger with the Santa Fe. And then later the Santa Fe merged with the Burlington Northern, became Burlington Northern Santa Fe. Southern Pacific became part of Union Pacific, and there you go. All right. We are rolling in the 5.0. Whoa! I just rotated. I didn't expect it to go. All right, let's look there. There's the trains off in the distance. Hooray. So our plan is still to use the old nickel plate right-of-way and eventually run trains up here. What I have decided to do is we're going to set up a siding. And then we'll have the line branch off the siding and come up instead of doing a Y. We're going to use the siding. So if a train comes into our town and it needs to go this way across the river, it's going to have to back out onto the siding and then go onto the main line, which is realistic. And then we'll put our freight hub in here somewhere. It'll come down the right of way and then curve into the freight hub, and that'll serve all this, which would be super cool. All right, we need houses. We need houses. You know what, though? We need a park still. So let me pause here for a second. Let's review our park options. We could put in a basketball court. That takes up a lot of space. Maybe a little more than I'm willing to give up. Is that 4 tiles wide? It is 5. 5 by 6. That's big. I would almost rather do just a small park. What is this? Oh, that's a small park. This is a small playground. Small parks can be bigger. Yeah, small park is big. I mean, it could go there. It could go there. We'd lose 2 houses. But that would be a really good place to put it, right next to the elementary school like that. Boom. Look at everybody. Come on, get happy. Yeah, so, yeah, we did the whole. So now this is the modern day Norfolk Southern main line, because nickel plate and Wabash. And so this will be an NS served town, as opposed to a crash, spill, and explode served town, which Evansville actually is. All right, let's add in some more residential. Let's go this way. Wait, how far do I want to go? How far are these blocks? Oh, these blocks are really long. So these blocks are going to go basically up to the railroad. And we're not going to have them along the railroad. So what we need to do is plan for that. Let's get the picker tool and get this, actually. So, here's the railroad. I think we can go there. And then we can build parallel to the railroad. Okay? And that can be the tracks. That's our future siding. Okay, that gets that out of the way. And then we'll just kind of run that down here a little bit further so it's there. All right? And run it down here a little further so it's there. Now we have a reference point. Okay? So now, since there's a siding there, we're going to have a couple of options. Walter? Am I the real A-Train from the boys? Man, do I sound like the A-Train from the boys? I don't think I sound like the A-Train from the boys. You know what I'm saying? Man, I don't have no time with that. You know what I'm saying? Homelander, he's just all up in my butt all the time. And then Starlight? Who does she think she is? You know what I'm saying? No, I'm the real A-Train. A-Train. A-Train from the boys is just a knockoff. I'm still waiting for the royalties to come in. All right. So the question then becomes, if this is going to be the railroad here, what are we going to do? We're going to stop the town right here? No. And part of the issue would have been in the design of the city. How do you cross the tracks? Now, again, we are going based on the premise that maybe after this line was abandoned, the Wabash line, they're still going to use the nickel plate line to get into town to service wherever we put the freight terminals. Okay? So this will be the branch line off the main. All right? We'll run down this right here. That's why that's the right of way. All right? So, excuse me. So we're going to have the right of way come down like this. you know what? We're going to have the right-of-way come down like this. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to actually draw this out so we know what it's going to look like. This will connect to this because this will then be railroad. Okay? Oh, nice. 759 and 765. 765 is the steamer, right? I'm sure 759 is as well. So what are we going to do here? We are going to build a curve. Let's see what we got here. That's a pretty broad curve. Let's go just a few more. See how far this is. Let's go back 10. Okay. So let's take this out. No, that didn't work. Let's try this again. We want to go 10 back here, which takes us to here. Okay. And we want to go 10 back here, which takes us to here. All right. So now we'll make this curve. We don't want the curve to be too sharp because trains, all right, they don't like that sort of thing. So we may still adjust this further, but this is going to be a pretty broad curve, all things considered, especially when it comes to the game mechanic. All right. So now this is going to be, that's not Underhill Drive. No, nickel plate right away. And now we can stretch this all the way down here. Okay. Cool. Now we know where the railroad's going to be. So now we can plan the city accordingly. With this main road here, we have a couple of different options. What would they do to get across the tracks? Now, in the early days, this wouldn't have been there. So these roads probably would have been there. But what they may have done is worked out a deal with the railroad because maybe the town didn't spread that far. Well, I don't know. But you're not going to want to have crossings at every one of these streets because if a train comes through, it's going to block every one of those crossings. Some places you may have those. But in other places, you may say 1st Street crosses, 3rd Street crosses, 5th Street crosses, right? Or 1st and 5th crosses. And then you have a parallel street along the way here that the others terminate into. Or they may go under it. And this is the case down in South Dallas, where the Dallas Interurban Railway, not interurban, excuse me, the Industrial Railway runs down Coombs Street. And I don't think it's Lamar. It's one of the streets down there, though. The Works projects, they wanted to get the streets off the trains. They wanted to eliminate grade crossings, all right? Because the trains kept tying them up. So what they did in a lot of cases was they tunneled under the tracks, all right? So now with these guys looking at maybe being highway at some point, I think they would probably fly over. But these smaller, and that probably wouldn't have been there at the time either. Oh, this has gone back to Magnolia. We don't want that. We want this to be Broadway south, and we want this to be Broadway north. All the way down. There we go. Cool. All right. Now, so what we've got to look at is then we're not going to tunnel all of these under. So we'll probably put a cross street. We'll tunnel under at 1st Street. We'll tunnel under at 5th Street. We'll tunnel under at 10th Street. You see what I'm saying here? Because you've got to look at what it would have cost to do these things. And then Broadway will fly over the tracks. And then the crossing street, which would be Avenue D, will probably go under Broadway. I don't think it'll grade cross here. Well, you know what? It may have a grade crossing. Or we may have it actually go under. And then Avenue D may have a more substantial name to it. Because that may be what we use to bridge over the river and connect over here. In that case, we're going to need to find a way to actually have good connections with Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Main Street will probably bridge over the river here, and then Avenue D, or we're going to have to go beyond. But it, you know, it's very common in real cities to see where the railroad bridge goes across, there's also a road bridge parallel to it. And so we want to kind of maintain that, you know, idea of, you know, that level of reality in our city design. So Avenue D is going to need to be here somewhere. Avenue D is probably going to be, you know what? No, I don't think it is. I could see a gravel road being parallel to the tracks, but not Avenue D. Whoops, we got this. This is not going to be Avenue D. This is just going to be a parallel road. Avenue D probably could go right here, because then we get 4 tiles back to that gravel road, right? And then so whatever it is behind that, that's just a gravel alley that runs behind the houses or the businesses or whatever. That makes sense? Right? Cool? Tracking? Awesome. So let's connect these into that. And then let's actually, we'll upgrade that. And that's going to be Avenue D. And then here is where it could get this is where we could get underneath. Oh, that's doing big. No. Don't do big. Let's not do big. Let's try to keep it gradual. Elevation step, let's keep that short. Okay. They're going to get us 1 step beyond and then bring it back up on the other side. Okay. Whoops. And there you go. And then this is First Street. First Street extends to there. Okay. And Second Street extends to here. And Third Street extends to there. Extends, no, not Olivia. Goes to there. 4th Street. Oh, that's in the way. We can turn that off and then do it to there. And then 5th Street. We can turn this off and extend to there. And then this, we rename Avenue D. Cool. All right. And Avenue D could be a major intersection here. Aha. I see how to do this. No, I don't. Nuts. Because we're too close to the tracks. And that's okay because that sort of thing happens. The Grant Bridge, Ulysses S. Grant Bridge in Ironton, Ohio, is really goofy. It comes across from Russell, Kentucky. Once it clears over the tracks, the Norfolk and Southern tracks, which were Norfolk and Western, and the DT&I tracks, which run parallel to the Ohio River, so it comes across perpendicular, flies over those, and then it makes an immediate 90-degree right turn as it comes into Ironton, and then it slopes downward to get you down because it doesn't go into town. It comes over, and then it does, and then you got to slope down, and then you're like 2 blocks over when you join back into the ground level. So that's how that works in the real world. That's how we can make it work here. You know what I'm saying? We could join Avenue D here, but as far as an intersection goes, that's where it gets a little wonky because of this. Right? There's trains there. We'd have to elevate everything, and then it becomes like, I don't know, Beltline and 35 in Carrollton, Texas, where you've got Dart Light Rail, you got former Katy, Dallas, Garland, Northeastern now, and Cotton Belt, all at grade level and BNSF. 3 railroads come together, and then above that, you've got Dallas Area Rapid Transit's Dart Light Rail running north-south along the Katy right-of-way. And then you got Beltline Road, which jumps up and flies over the railroad tracks. And then you got I-35, which flies over top of all that. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. But it's what you got to do to keep the traffic moving and keep the cars and the trains apart. Things to think about in city planning, gang. All right, what's our next milestone? 2,400 people? 2,600. Okay, we can get there if we just punch in some more residential. I think we need to add some water. Let's do that real quick. Let's just run the water mains down here to Avenue D. Let's run the water mains down to Avenue D. Okay. And then we can put in more. We need some commercial too, so we'll put some commercial along here. Okay. And we'll put some commercial here. Maybe a little bit more here and here. Not too much. And then we'll put in residential. Let's hold up a little bit short of Avenue D. I'm thinking one of these is going to have to become a bigger thoroughfare. So we're going to pull back there. And we may put a commercial on the end of it. So let's pull back 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we know how far we can go. Let's put that there. Let's put this here. And you know what we need? We need us a high screw rule. I don't think we can afford it yet, though, so let's let this roll. Love new parks, yay! Now homes are going to start upgrading like crazy through here, and we're going to get a bunch of people. Hear the ding? Right there, right there. See? Now there's more people moving in as the house is upgraded. And now I think it would be a good time for us to upgrade Main Street. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep it the same width it's at. But we're going to upgrade it to 4 lanes. So watch. Go here to the exclamation point. And we're going to do this. This does not affect, because we're going to say these are historic buildings and we do not want to affect those with that road. All right. Now, do we want to do that over here too? I guess we could. All right, cool. Now Main Street has been upgraded all the way through town. We still got a lot of, gravel roads over here. I'm not terribly fussed about that. But now it's really starting to feel like a town, like a real town. And that's kind of the point, was make it feel like a real town. Put that there. Now, this is an interesting indicator. What this means is they need workers. But the problem is they need educated workers. Okay? Not enough educated workers. So we need a high screw rule. High screw rule, I think, is going to go over here because it'll cover a bigger area. We're going to put it off of Avenue B. Let's go back here, click that, not that. We need to build straight and then build it out. Okay, Avenue B, and this is 6th Street. Okay, then that gets narrow. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so that's good. And we'll run this down here like that. Okay. And then this is 6th Street. Sith. Okay. I'll change that. And now we're going to look to put in the high school. Oh, we don't have enough money for it. Let's run forward. We'll get this moving. All right, so we need a little more commercial. Let's tuck some of that in. Let's see where we could put a little bit more commercial. Let's put some right here. Let's put some right here. We could put some right. Oh, we could extend Main Street. That would work. Main Street. Let's run it out here. That. Awesome. Let's go ahead and extend our water out a little bit. Of course, this is costing money. Money we don't really have. Dropper, grab this and connect this. Boom. And then this is 6th Street. Actually, we need to extend 6th Street this way too. So, what we got here? Dropper, this, extend Railroad Street, like that, and then we'll use the dropper again because we like this street type here, and we'll just extend that to there. Okay, cool. So now we can run. Oh, we don't need to run water on this side. So as long as we're on the west side of the street, we're okay. You know what? I have an idea. And this is part of the planning that may backfire. But let's see. Where is it? Is that the dog park? Dog park! Can it work? Will it work this way? Oh, it's going to eat into it. Either way. That's all right. The house will rebuild. So we're going to put a dog park there. Maybe a house burned down. Maybe the city. Maybe the property went bad. Maybe it was a crack house or something like that. And they decided to turn it into a dog park. All right. So now 14 grand should be enough for us to build a. We're almost there. What do we need? 24. Crap. All right. Let's keep rolling. Power wise, we're looking good. Water wise, we're looking pretty good. Oh, we got room to go with this. So let's take this up to 100%. That should take care of that. This is going to cut our income just a little bit, but not too badly. And now roads are going to be much more expensive. Okay. And then we're going to bring schools up. And now we're not going to fart around with these budgets anymore. Okay? There we go. Everything's at 100%, and we'll roll with it. Okay? Taxes are 10, 10, and 12. Okay? We still need more residential. There. We put more residential here. We still need some more commercial. We can put that here, here, and here. Oh, no. I wasn't going to put it here, but that's actually okay. And then we're going to actually put some commercial on this side of this street. Now, the NKP right away, we're going to take that out here in a sec. Oh, no, we don't need to take that out. Oh, that's going to be facing the wrong way, I think. Add Irish. Why not 12% taxes for all three? You know what? If that won't make people run, then I guess we'd be okay with that. I thought it was 10 or 11, 12. I couldn't remember the number. But if 12 works for all three, then we'll go to 12 for all three. Hey, look, we got enough for a high school. And boom, town. All right. Hooray and huzzah. So we got some unique building stuff, the Chirpex launch site and all that stuff. We covered that, blah, blah, blah. Now we get transport, which is cool because we'll be able to start setting up bus lanes, or not bus lanes, But bus routes, if we just want to put in a, transportation system, we can do recycling, which is cool. Recycling plastic, that's good. I like those things. We get some intersections and we get highways. Yeah, that's super cool. 12% works all three without angering them. You know what? Add Irish. You get the prize for the helpful person of the night. So let's pause here for station identification, not landscaping. Landscaping. We got landscaping too. Let's make a little more money. 12% is good to go. So there we are. And then we're going to look for the high scroll in. And when we put the high scroll in, let's first take Avenue B and extend it. Uh-oh, what happened back here? A business that didn't have enough people to work for it or something? Probably not enough educated workers. I bet we have that indication up here somewhere. Not at the moment. But let's get the high school built. High capacity high school. Ooh, 58 grand. Holy crap. High capacity elementary school. That's expensive. And there's the public library. We want to do that too. So we're going to be squeezing that in here at some point. But the high school we can deal with, we can work with, we can do. All right. So I think we're going to put that right here. See what the area of influence of that's going to be. Everywhere. It's everywhere we want to be. Excellent. And that is going to do very well for us. So what we'll wind up doing at that point is adding in. Now there's special buildings. Like I want to put a James Nasium with this. That's a fancy parking lot. Those are oil tanks. And no, you don't put those next to high schools. A decorative parking lot you do. This is actually a pretty good size parking lot. The question is, do we want to put that way? Or do we want to maybe put a parking lot here? Wait, no, I feel like we want to go this. No, we want to do one here for sure. Because this total block width should be 2, 4, 6, 8, I think. Yes, 8 wide. And that school takes up 6. So that's going to go there, right? And then we'll put a basketball court on the back side, and we'll put additional parking back there. Does that make sense? Because then the other street will go down, well, that'd be 7th Street. Okay, so we put that there. We put this here, and then we'll be able to set this up similarly over here. Okay? And then that's going to make people really happy, and we like happy people. We like shiny happy people if you're an REM fan. All right, cool. So this is going to be 7th Street, that way, Deese way. Oh, wait, not that far Deese way. We go Deese way first. And then we go Deese way. 7th Street, and then we change to the narrower without parking for here. Then we connect across the right-of-way to there, to Railroad Street. Okay? And then this becomes 7th Street. I had family that lived on 7th Street in Ironton, Ohio. Actually, I think some do. Still do. All right, so here's the Wabash right away. We're just going to move that just a little bit. Get it out of the way. Do we have that road selected still? No? Yes? No? Maybe so? Let's just grab that. And we'll just kind of sketch it back in here. Okay? So we keep in mind, where this is. And that's going to help guide our future development. All right? And that's going to be Wabash right away. And Shirley, you're not going to be Shirley Road. And finally, Audrey Hepburn. Not Ebash Road, Wabash. As I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, how I long for my Indiana home. All right, cool. 7th Street, Lafayette now. This is East Railroad Street. Let's get that extended out. So we have our street names consistent. Cool. There's that. Green Street. No, you are not Green Street. You are Main Street. And that covers that. All right. In Empire, you are not. You're Avenue A. Then we got Avenue B, which is already covered. Avenue C, we got to run across. That's going to be this right here. And then that takes us back to Avenue D, which we did not upgrade yet. Avenue D for did not upgrade. Oh, that is not right. I goobered that up a little bit, didn't I? That's okay. We'll fix it. Put that there. Put that there. And then go back this way and put that there. I'm pretty sure this siding does not need to be near that long. It'll probably connect here and probably here, because the train on this is only going to be about this long. So let's take out some of this right away here. Yeah, if we connect it there and connect it here, we probably don't need this segment. Yeah, and then Faith Campbell Drive looks like it's actually going back over here. So we'll have this connect to Faith Campbell. And then maybe it actually crossed the railroad for now. Okay, so we'll just have that there for looks. But the nickel plate right away, this is going to be the siding. We'll connect here. And then we'll connect here. And that should be plenty of length when we see a train come blazing through here. They're only kind of one length. Here comes one right now. Who knew? But this should cover us more than plenty. Yeah, see, here's a freight train even. See? We got all that room. So this may not even be an issue if we made the siding here. We'll make the siding here. To here. Yeah. Yeah, that'll cover it. And then this will be the connection in. Then you have the grade level crossing, and you're good to go. Awesome. We're set. So, cool. Excellent. All right, folks. I think this makes a really good stopping point for tonight's episode. Look at this. I hope y'all learned something about how railroads affect the design of towns and buildings and stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite do it the way we would like, but we have kind of built that in with our plan. That Wabash right-of-way here is now a gravel road, and that used to be the right-of-way as it came through town, and it serves some old, businesses along here. Maybe it has siding, and then it came across through here, across what's now Broadway, and interchanged with the nickel plate over here, and then went through some of the industrial area, and nickel plate served some industrial stuff over here, and everybody was happy, happy, joy, joy. What are we doing here at this intersection? I'm going to have to figure that out. Main Street. Oh, you know what? For some reason, I'm getting goofed up intersections here. I'm going to have to figure out why it's doing that, because I can't do... There's node editing. Oh, this is different. This is very different. But now you can make lines that connect and do all kinds of silly stuff. So, wait, did that also include traffic, crosswalks, filters, templates, presets? I got to play around with this. Yeah, it's markings. And then there's your node manager, adaptive networks. What does that do for us? This road has no custom adaptive networks, flags, okay, whatever. TPME, that would be what I'm looking for. Yes. I don't know why I was having like a momentary lapse of reason here. But what we need to do is just set up like a timed traffic light here and here. And that should take care of it. What we'll wind up doing here is making this more of an intersection. And we'll probably have Broadway fly over Main Street. And then we'll have just connections off and on. And then we may even set up service roads, which if you guys are familiar with my builds, you know that I like to do service roads because we have those here in Texas. So you have like your highways, and then you have like secondary roads that parallel them, and businesses are built off of those. But the highways just keep going, and then you exit off the highway onto the service road, and then you can access the local businesses. So it cuts down the number of ramps and stuff like that. Like one car went through the light. What's up with that? Oh, you know what? At this point, we can actually upgrade this. I know, I was going to end the episode. You guys like this stuff too much. 3-lane, right? A 3-lane road, large road. Yep. 2-way, 1-way. That's 6 lanes. When do I get 3-lane? Where the hell is 3-lane in here? That's not a small road, is it? Of course, this is coming off a highway, so technically that's highway. So yeah, we can just do this, that, and that. Okay. But what we can do is use this, and we will set our speed limit here, and we're going to drop it down to 45. And then here it will be 45. Here will be like 50. You know, you start reducing speed as people come into town. Whoops. That's 50. That's 40. Oh, I see how it's doing. Okay, now it's, I'm tracking. So we need this on 45, and then we click on it. Gotcha. And now I think we can actually increase the speed on Main Street. The 35. And I know there's a way to do this all the way through the length of town. But I'm a little slow, some of these mods and stuff, because I really haven't played much in the past couple years. So, there. I'll pick up the speed through Main Street. Right? Very good. And even down here. Sweet. The speed's down through here. All right, how do I do this? Default speed limits per road type. We're going to go to 45. Actually, is it you drag? No. I'll just get it done. Broadway will be 45 for now. And eventually I'll go up if we make that highway through the whole city. But for now, we are just a growing little town. That looks good. 55, 60, yeah, you start slowing people down coming in the intersection, and then they go from there. Super, cool. All right, so now I know TPMB is working. I just forgot how to use it. So there you go. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you being here, and hope you're enjoying this build of Evansville, our fictional town, loosely based on Evansville, Indiana, on the Ohio River. And is that a Denny's? It's Penny's, but it's Denny's. Awesome. Love me some Denny's. Yeah. And they give a military discount to veterans. So that's super cool. And you know what, guys? Wait a minute. I got to do something here. Hang on. A historical building. Yes. Yes, please. These are going to be historical buildings along the railroad. Quiet Corner Shop. Yep. Historical building. That's going to be good. I want the buildings right along downtown here to maintain a little bit of that old town flair. Yeah. Oh, that's terrific. Just right through here. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I know a few of them probably changed. You had buildings maybe burned down or something, things like that. But you know what? That's okay. We're going to keep what we can keep. What the hell is that? What are these? There's some kind of Swiss freaking chalet or some stuff. That doesn't look like it belongs in Midwestern America. What is that? The Sunset Residence. Oh, low density residential building. Yeah, we may have to dink around with that a little bit and figure that out. So, but I do like Penny's over here. General store. Here's another nice couple of buildings. Did I set this one up? I think I set this up as a historical. And that. Oh yeah, this is, oh yeah, babe. This is looking pretty good. I like it. So, cool beans. All right, I'm getting kind of a high rise over here. Getting a little crazy. A little bit crazy. I'm never going to survive unless we get a little bit crazy. Right? And then what Seal said? I think that's what Seal said. Sweet. We'll let some new ones kind of pop up in there, but otherwise we kind of want to maintain that small town feel along Main Street and, you know, back over to Railroad Street. This is kind of the center of town. Eventually, hopefully we get a town center or something like that we can put in, like, you know, a town hall or something. And we'll pop that in there. And that'll make it all fit together real nice. And then you come back off and, yeah, cool. I'm liking it. I hope you guys are too. Oh no, hang on, our school doesn't have water. You shall have water now. There, problem fixed. Okay, we're just solving some problems here as we wrap things up. That way I don't have to think too much when we start back in. So, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate you being here, and hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please give us a like. Share with your friends. Let them know about the channel. Let them know about City Skylines, now available on Steam from Paradox Interactive. Also, City Skylines 2 is coming later this year, so that's exciting. Very exciting. I think it's later this year, early next year. It's in the works, and it's going to be real fun to see how that comes out. How they hopefully integrate some of these mods, the big, you know, favorite mods people have, into the base game. We'll see how that goes. Like, share, and subscribe. Turn on that bell icon so you know when we go live or upload a video. Get your friends on board. Join us on Discord, link in the description below. You can see my Steam library. Make game requests, discuss this and other games. Also, if you have any questions, make sure to just put those in the comments. This will probably switch over to the videos category. I'll probably go in and just do a quick edit on it. And then it'll be under videos. And then I'll probably get rid of the stream version of it. But it was good because I didn't have to take a bathroom break tonight. And we kept it right at 90 minutes. That's not too bad. We'll try to shorten them up a little bit. But we had a good, I hope, history lesson for this. So, and if you feel like making a donation to help support the channel, paypal.me/itraingames, link in the description below. All right, folks, appreciate you. And I hope you have a great day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are on planet Earth or beyond. I'm A-Train. It's over. And I'm out.